So let me go over number 2. So solve P equals L plus S over F times I, and we're going to solve for S. Can anybody tell me, what do you think they're asking you to do when they say solve for S? This is the equation, and they want us to solve for S. What does that mean in layman's terms? Like, that's, how that's that math talk we use. What does it mean really to solve for S?
To find the answer for S.
To find the what?
To find the answer for S.
What do you mean find the answer?
Like after you get say it again.
Because they're all letters. So what do you mean find the answer?
So I'm guessing like your answer is supposed to be the answer for S. You know what I'm saying?
But we don't have
after you,
any numbers.
well, I don't know.
Okay. Jonathan said get S by itself, I think. That's right. That's exactly right. We're trying to get S by itself. So when it's a solve for X, they mean get X on one side by itself equals something else. All right, so we're going to attempt to get S by itself. What letter is by itself right now?
Is it I or E? I? P.
P. P is the only thing on one side by itself, but we don't want P by itself. We want S by itself. All right, so we need to start somewhere now. We have S here. We want to move everything else to the other side where P is, and we want to leave S on the right side. Can anybody tell me, where should we even begin? What should we move first? You said reverse operations, but what are we going to move first? What would you move first? Now we want S to stay, right? So we don't want to move S. L. Very nice, Asia. L. We're going to move L first. All right. So we have L here. We want to move it first. Can someone other than Asia tell me, how can I move L to the other side mathematically? Subtract. Okay. Subtract L on both sides. Subtract on. Yes, Jonathan and Kaylin. Yes. So we're going to subtract L from both sides. So we're going to go with minus L on the right side. So that'll go away. And we're going to have minus L on the left side. So now we have P minus L equals S over F times I. Okay. We're getting close. We still have S here. We want it to stay on that side, on the right side. And get rid of what? What would you get rid of now? You want to, okay. You said I. Y'all say I. I would have actually got rid of L first. All right. Yes. Does it matter? No, it doesn't really matter. But when you have fractions, honestly, you're trying to get rid of that as fast as possible. So how can someone other than Jonathan tell me, how can I move the F from the right side and get it to the left side mathematically? Somebody other than Jonathan. All right, multiply both sides, Kaylin. All right, because all of this is considered division and multiplication, so I have to do the inverses of that, which somebody talked about earlier. It's really inverse operations. So you don't have a minus sign on the right, so you can't add anything. All right, but since we're dealing with division, we're dealing with multiplication, we have to do inverses of those things. So we're going to multiply both sides by if. And then Maya says something about multiply by the reciprocal. That's a good one too. All right. That would actually be faster. I'm going to kind of take the time because I see we might need a little, take this one slow. So that's the only reason I'm going to go with F first. So we're going to multiply F on this side. But then if we multiply F on the right side, we also have to multiply F times everything on the left. And how do you indicate that? You have to put everything on the left in parentheses because you're multiplying everything on the left side by F. All right, and I'm gonna just say this is a recording. I'm recording this, so you could potentially, if you don't write this down right now, you have to go through the video, the recording that's, and you have access to it, I believe. If y'all go to Blackboard Collaborate, y'all should see like 3 little dots in Blackboard Ultra where you can view the recordings. All right, because this is a homework problem, and so you're gonna get hit with it. Just make sure you try to understand it while I'm doing it, but if you don't, you need to go back through the recordings. All right, so we have F times P minus L. What happens to the F's on the right side of the equal sign? Somebody other than Amaya and Jonathan. Cancel out. All right, so yes, the F's go away because that's F divided by F. Think about it. F is in the numerator here, and F is in the denominator here, so they cancel out. So now we have F on the left side times P minus L equals S times I. How do I get rid of the I? Somebody other than Jonathan and Amaya and Kaylin. How do I get rid of the I? Because I want S on one side by itself. I don't want SI. Somebody other than Jonathan, Kaylin, or Maya. How would I move the I from the right side and get it to the left side? Divide. Very nice, Diamond. Divide by I. Because this is multiplication here, right? So the inverse of multiplication is division. That's how we get rid of things, by doing the inverse of what operation is going on. So the I's cancel. So now we have S equals, and as you can see, S is on one side by itself, F times P minus L over I. So this is one way to get S by itself. No, it's not the only way to get it by itself, but that is one way. So make sure you have that written down, because that you will get hit with that problem. All right, any questions? Yes, any questions? Amaya?
So do you want us to leave it like fulled out instead of multiplying in the letters and stuff? Like make it FP minus FL? Or you want us to leave it in the...
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary to do that. If you want to do that, that's fine, because yes, it is equivalent to if you wanted to multiply that out, but I don't see the necessity of doing all that. I'm okay with this.
Okay.
Leaving it like that, because that's less work. All right. I mean, because there's a lot of other stuff you could do too. This is actually the same thing as FP over I minus FL over I. See, it gets complicated after a while. All of that equals the same thing. So I'm fine with you leaving it like this, because the goal here was to get S by itself. It wasn't anything to, change it to a certain form or anything. The goal was simply to get S on one side of the equal sign by itself.